Hi. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Aubrey Golbeck. I am a dietitian in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I'm also a mom of two little ones, Ezra, who is about to be 8 weeks old tomorrow, and Judah, who's 3. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about my postpartum experience so far with two littles. So I want to hit on just life, food, body image, and everything in between, in hopes that it'll be helpful for some of you. So first, just an overview. I want to say that for me, my experience going from 1 to 2 has been so much easier than going from 0 to 1 kids. I think that's just because you already are in the habit of taking care of someone. You know what to expect. So it's been so much easier this time around. And I don't know if that's, like I said, experience or a testament to how chill my second child is. So I'll talk a little bit more about that and you guys can decide for yourselves. I also want to say that I went into this expecting my 3-year-old to have a really rough transition just because of everything I read. And for the most part, it's been pretty good. So he loves his little brother, and that is something we prayed for, that they would be best friends, and he really loves him. I mean, we do have to encourage him to be gentle and a little quieter around him, but mostly it's just because he wants to kiss him so much and wants to hold him, and those are all good things in my opinion. I will say, I think we have to pay attention to our time with him, that we're really focusing on him when he does get our quality time, since he doesn't get a lot of it anymore. And I'll talk more about that later too. But one thing we've tried to do, or at least I've tried to do, is keep his routine somewhat the same as to what he had before we had our second little one. So that has been helpful. Eating at the same time, generally going to sleep at the same time, keeping his nap or quiet time. And so those are some things we've done that I think have been helpful. We also did the thing where we gave a gift from Ezra the baby to our 3-year-old, and had our 3-year-old give a gift to Ezra on the day he was born. And our 3-year-old loves gifts, so that was a huge bonus for him. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is sleep. And this is the $1 million question. Everyone wants to know, how are you sleeping? Is the baby sleeping? And I understand that each child is different. And my first child did not sleep through the night till he was 2, when we weaned him from breastfeeding. And for most of that, the first year, he was waking up 2 or 3 times a night, every night, nursing back to sleep every night. And so sleep was a really big concern for me. It honestly is probably what held me off from having a child for so long, because I really didn't want to be so stressed about sleep again. So I realized that some of it you can't control. Some of it is just becoming a parent and getting used to it. But going into this second baby, I really wanted to make sure we were equipped and had a game plan as to what we were going to do and how we were going to help promote sleep. So I did take the Taking Care of Babies newborn sleep class with my husband. It's an online class, and it was so helpful. I mean, there were things on there that were so simple that we just never did with our firstborn, like swaddling, and some other things that I just think every new mom should know. So it's really gentle. It's not really even sleep training. It's just starting a child off the way he should go. So you're just starting good sleep habits from the beginning, not sleep training, not harshly ignoring your baby's hunger cues or anything like that. But I do recommend that. Ezra has slept several nights for I think 7-hour stretches, 6 and 7-hour stretches. I will say last night, I think he's going through a growth spurt because he did wake up every 3 to 4 hours. So, but even that is far better than my other son. So, we love the class, and I'm recommending it to everyone. I'll link it below. On that note, I've learned a lot having had a child already. So some of those things with the sleep class is just I'm better able to read my baby's cues, I think. And that goes into breastfeeding. So with Judah, I breastfed him at the drop of a hat. I breastfed him every hour and a half. I think I breastfed him just when he was tired, when he squawked. Anything he did, I breastfed him, which I found out now isn't exactly good for him or good for me, and definitely not good for sleep. So with Ezra, breastfeeding has been going really well. He feeds about every 2 to 3 hours. And then at night he'll go that long stretch. So that's wonderful. I would much prefer that to feeding like every 3 hours all around the clock. But I noticed that with him, a lot of times when I was feeding Judah, it was actually that he was gassy. And so that's the same thing with Ezra. I had always heard that you don't really have to burp a breastfed baby. Well, that has not been true, and I wish I would have known that with my firstborn. So I've just been a lot better about burping my baby and noticing when it's gas versus hunger. And then also realizing that if it's 60 minutes after he's woken up, he's probably just tired, and so he needs to go to sleep. So a lot of those things have been very helpful in our breastfeeding journey. So I don't have this crazy oversupply because I'm not breastfeeding all of the time with Ezra. So that's been awesome. All right, the next thing I want to hit on is food. So since I am a dietitian and most of what I do has to do with food, I thought I'd talk about that. So immediately after having the baby, I was so fortunate. My friend Ashley set up a meal train for me. So we had several wonderful people come and bring meals for us. So that was so helpful. I highly recommend it. I'm like waiting for my next friend to be pregnant so I can do it for them because I loved it so much. And then the other thing is that our in-laws actually live on the same land as us. So my mother-in-law is just an angel, and she's been cooking all kinds of meals for us. She makes lunch and I'll eat the lunch with her. And my family was also here. So they also helped buy groceries. I don't even think we bought groceries for the entire first month after Ezra was born. So that's been amazing. Now I am buying my own groceries. I actually went to the store by myself with the kids for the first time this week. And I just want to say I'm still making meals that are mostly pre-prepared or very easy to make. So tonight we made scrambled eggs, bacon, and cinnamon rolls. I made pizza the other night that I got from the store. I'll make like tacos, quiche, hamburgers on the grill, things that are really simple, and like get those bag salads and just add them right to our meal, or just make like a side of roasted vegetables, things that don't take a ton of creativity and time to cook. And that's been a huge lifesaver this time around. Last time with Judah, I had a different mindset around food. It was a lot more all or nothing. So if I couldn't make this like perfect meal, I just had this kind of like screw it mentality. We're just gonna like go out to eat. So that's been really great this time around. And of course, all the support I've had. So I highly recommend the meal train. I highly recommend, if you can, or making yourself meals ahead of time, or just thinking of some really quick fix prepared dinners you can get and have in your freezer for when you have the baby. All right, so the next thing I want to hit on is body image. So last time with Judah, if you don't know my story, I was a little more disordered in my eating, but also just a little more hard on myself and my body, and I hadn't learned to accept my body for what it was. So I remember right after I had the baby, I was fine. My weight kind of came off really quickly last time. My belly went down, all of those things. But I do remember like the further out, I was reading Kylie Mitchell's blog. Is it Kylie Mitchell? It's a blog from I'm Gonna Eat That, and she talked about how the further out from having a baby you get, the harder we tend to be on our postpartum bodies. Like it's kind of like this feeling like, oh well, it's been 8 weeks, I should be back to normal by now. Or it's been 5 months, I should be back to normal by now. And that was definitely true for me last time. I started to get really flustered with myself, that I wasn't this pre-pregnancy body. So this time around, completely new mindset, practicing compassion for my body, but it still has been hard. And that's because my body has definitely changed a lot more this time, just in the fact that I had a much bigger baby and my skin stretched a lot more. So I have a lot of like extra skin and stretch marks that I didn't have last time. And so I've had to really practice being patient with my body and also kind of accepting where I'm at. So for me, what's been helpful is literally laying my hands on my stomach and thanking it for what it did. And then also, sometimes I do like look in the mirror, and depending on where you're at with recovery, if this would be like body checking for you, and it would kind of tempt you to have disordered thoughts, I don't suggest it. But for me, I have, just looked in the mirror at my new new marked belly, and just, like I said, thanked it, and like appreciated it, and realized that this is okay and normal. And that's kind of been like an accepting practice for me. I don't do it all the time, but I did do that in the beginning, and that has been wonderful. So as it relates to my postpartum belly, the exercises I've been doing, a little bit of the exercises I've been doing, have been aimed at restoring my core, my pelvic floor. Thankfully, my husband is a chiropractor, so he's been giving me exercises, but there are plenty of programs out there that you can do. I've heard of Mama Strong, and I've also heard of a couple others that will give you just simple targeted exercises for pelvic floor. So right now, maybe like twice a week, I've been doing like 15 minutes of strength training exercises, mainly core, some other stuff as well, in the evenings with my husband. And then I've also been walking in the mornings when I get the chance. The rest of my exercise, I'm going to be honest, is wearing my baby sling and carrying this baby around the entire house all day long, and caring for a toddler. So getting a lot of movement in, and the movement really does feel good for my body, with the one exception that definitely holding a baby and nursing and carrying him in those slings can give you like a sore back. So I've been getting kinesio taped by my husband, so I suggest that in chiropractic care if you have that available to you. So that's what exercise has looked like. Oh, and I want to go back to body image, actually, and I have notes here because I knew I would forget because mom brain. I wanted to say that I've also been, I made it a point to buy some new clothes, and that has been really great. So I've been enjoying wearing clothes, because at the end of my pregnancy, I had nothing left, like no cute clothes. I just wore my husband's t-shirts, which didn't even fit. My like belly would stick out at the bottom of them. So I was so appreciative to have like some fashion sense. But I highly suggest buying new clothes that fit your here and now postpartum body, and aren't just like your pre-pregnancy clothes or your maternity clothes. It will make a world of difference for your body image. And other things are simple, like self-care, hygiene things, like taking a shower more frequently, brushing my teeth, doing my makeup. I would say doing my hair, but that's not really a thing in the Oklahoma heat. It just looks like this every day because it is like 100 degrees outside. So those things have been really helpful as well. So the other thing on self-care, and with talking about paying attention to your firstborn, I took a phone break, sort of. I didn't go cold turkey because that's never really worked for me in the past. I need my phone for things. But what I did was I wrote down all the things that my phone satisfies. So it is social interaction. It is feels boredom, my need to Google things. It helps me learn. There are some things that the phone really does meet. Maybe it doesn't meet my needs like in the best way. So I then went about finding other things that could meet those same needs without the phone. So like instead of Googling, I've been buying paper books, and I've actually read like 4 books in the 3 weeks that I haven't been spending less time on my phone. That is amazing for me. Like I finished 4 books. Usually I start them and I don't finish them. My favorite one that I've read is called Boy Mom by Monica Swanson. It's actually really new. It is amazing, and it's really inspired me to want to mother more intentionally. There's a fly going around. Anyways, so highly recommend that book. It's awesome. The other thing I've been doing, which I made an Instagram post about, is wearing this like $12 Walmart watch. It's a digital watch because I use my phone for my watch, and especially with a newborn, instead of having my phone constantly in my face in the middle of the night, I just hit my little button and it lights up my digital watch, and I can tell what time it is. So that's been amazingly helpful. I also told my closest friends and relatives that if they needed to get a hold of me right away to call me. So I turn my text notifications off and I just check it like periodically throughout the day instead of continually answering text messages. That made a world of difference too. So those are some big things that I've done just to take care of myself. There's a lot less time in the day, and I want to make sure that I'm spending my time wisely, quality time with my kids. Being able to keep up with housework and things like that has been so much easier when the phone isn't filling every free space of my time. So that's what I wanted to say. Fun. Okay, so fun things we've got to do during my maternity leave. I think if you're going to take a leave, you need to make some space for something fun. So we got to go to Magnolia Market in Waco, Texas, which is, if you don't know, Chip and Joanna Gaines. I'm obsessed with them. And we actually had a wedding in Dallas, which is an hour and a half away. So we took an extra day and went to Magnolia. That was super fun. Ate at their restaurant. Loved their food. Got a million ideas from her shop because we are actually like in the process of redecorating our home. And then also we have been to Indiana several times. We went to the Ark. We took Judah to the Ark, like a big real life Noah's Ark replica in Kentucky or Ohio. I can't remember which one it is, but it's awesome. Oh, my husband's over here telling me Kentucky. So that was really fun. And that is something I highly recommend. If you can get away, it's okay. I mean, we're kind of the belief that babies travel best when they're young. And we've been, because they sleep so easily, we've been keeping, Ezra sleeps in like a Snuggle Me organic, like a little pillow cot. So we can take that anywhere, and his swaddle, and he sleeps pretty well along with his little portable sound machine. So that's allowed us to travel. We did that with our firstborn too. We traveled I think 7 states before he was 2 months old. So have loved that. All right. And things I'm looking forward to right now in the future is definitely gearing back up to start working. I've been working on a few projects right now, but I'm not seeing clients until the end of September. And then also just doing house projects. So I'm really inspired to do some different things on our house where I'm not pregnant anymore, so I can be kind of useful when I'm not holding a newborn. So that's really exciting. And also hopefully doing some more of these vlogs. So if you guys have anything you want me to talk about, I'm definitely going to be doing some more nutrition related ones, like on intuitive eating and maybe some just daily eats and how-to sort of things. But if you guys have anything specific you want me to do a vlog on, please let me know. Make sure to subscribe and share this. And I will see you guys next time.